All right, we're back. The penultimate review for tonight. Yes, second to last. Um, this is going to be interesting because this is a style I have never had before. I've never reviewed a Berliner Weisse. So, a German style wheat beer that is sour. I think it's a style that originated in northern Germany, if not mistaken, kind of became popular. It seems to be traditionally served with like syrups and sodas and things like that. Like, tends to be something that's mixed because it's sour. So you'll get like Berliner Weiss with raspberry syrup or some shit, kind of mixed together to make like a cocktail of sorts. So generally, traditionally used as like or more popularly used as a popularly used as a cocktail these days. But it's an old style. Apparently originated in like the 16th century, something like that, and it was kind of very popular in Germany for quite a while, and then just kind of like flat died out like a couple hundred years ago. So, but it's become a sort of revised craft style that's become very popular. So we're just going to share a screen here really quick and see what Tatamagouche has to say about it. So, delicious summer quencher, Buddha's hand will transport you to the tropical streets of Tatamagouche. I didn't know Tatamagouche was tropical, but apparently so. I mean, some of the summers we get these days in Nova Scotia do feel pretty tropical. I will say that. The beer is named after the fruit itself, which is a strange hand-shaped lemon from Asia that has far more zest and juice. Actually, we need to look at this, right? I feel like we need to look at this. See what this looks like. Buddha's hand. Okay. All right. Buddha's hand. I wouldn't say hand. I wouldn't say it looks like a hand. I'd say it looks like some sort of sea plant of some sort. Buddha has way too many fingers. That looks more like Cthulhu or something. Like fuck. Here it is, like splayed open. Looks like orange rind on the inside, I guess. Buddha's hand. What citrus was Buddha's hand taste like? Apparently, it's very bitter. Yeah, okay. It's a white pith. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It just has that orange pith by the looks of it for the most part. And the inside, it's zest. So I guess you get the flavor off like taking the skin off it, just zesting it. Gives you a lemon blossom like flavor. Okay. So you don't want the inside of this fruit. You just want to like skin it, basically, is what you want to do. Cool. Very cool. But yes, Berliner Weiss and 3.8% alcohol by volume. The text on this is very hard to read the way it's printed. And so it says it's got water, malt, hops, yeast, wheat, and Buddha's hand in it. So we're expecting like a sour beer with like lemony flavors, I guess. Again, this is my first Berliner Weiss. So it almost feels like my style score is already predetermined. It's probably going to be like a 7 or something. Like, just maybe this is the style. If it kind of fits like what I read up on what the style is supposed to taste like, I kind of default have to kind of give it a 7 if this is my first time around. I don't have any others under my belt. Just like, hey, seems like it's fitting those quotas of what the style is supposed to be, but could be better, maybe. I don't know yet. Pouring it here. Not particularly big on the head. Just like me. Whoops. Did I let that out there? Okay. Looks pretty pale on screen, and it's even more pale in real life. It is a very pale color. Apparently, that's a quality of this beer, too. Apparently, the way it's brewed to make sure it's very clear, or as clear as possible. There was something about when I was sort of reading on the notes of the style in Wikipedia, something about brewing to get as much color out of it as possible for some reason. I don't know why that is, but whatever. So let's go to aroma. Ooh. There's certainly lemon in this, but it's like a musty. Again, it's a Berliner Weiss, so it's like there's wheat in this. Yes, like I'm getting like. And here's a blast from the past as far as like beer tubing reviewing goes. I'm getting like horse blanket. That fun note people came up with for reviewing beer back in the earlier 2000s. It might even been earlier than that. I don't know, but it was one I saw much more prevalently like said as people were reviewing like Belgian sours and different Belgian style beers like wild ales and shit like that. Big note for like Orval and shit like that would come out in reviews. Horse blanket, which is like a funky, sour, weedy, musty thing. Like they'd say horse blanket or barnyard. That's what I'm getting on this aroma. There's like lemon in there. There's like a lemony kind of component to this, but it's mostly kind of a funky, sour barnyard horse blanket thing. And it's one of those flavor notes that people describe that you only know it if you know it, basically. Like you have to have like an Orval or some sort of like funky Belgian barnyard thing, wild ale, whatever, kind of thing. And then you go like, okay, yes, horse blanket is the descriptor for this. You never have to smell a horse blanket in your fucking life. You never have to be in a fucking barn in your fucking life, or in a farm or smell a farm or whatever. But it's just the name. It's just a descriptor. Sometimes descriptors are not necessarily something you can just like automatically go, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Sometimes you just go and you smell a beer and you smell enough of them and they all say, oh, this is horse blanket. Okay, horse blanket is the term. It doesn't matter if it doesn't actually literally smell like a blanket that's been on a fucking horse. It's okay. You can calm down. It's not the end of the fucking world. Horse blanket is just a term, and this is the term I'm going to use here. It's horse blanket with a little bit of lemon. Someone squeeze some lemon on that horse blanket is what's going on here. But yeah, it's not super inviting. So immediately this makes me think, yes, the Germans were smart to turn this into a cocktail beer. Like, let's dump some raspberry into this, especially raspberry. Like they do all kinds of different syrups, but especially like a raspberry, a nice tart raspberry put into this, it'll mix well with the innate like sourness of this, but then jump the fruit flavors out and maybe get some of that in the aroma and get some of that in the taste, but you get that like tartness as well. Yeah, I can see why they would do that. I can definitely see why they do that. So let's go to the taste. Cheers. Oh, that is interesting. And I'm not a big fan of sours either. Let's put that out there. But very light in the body, but it has that coating sourness that like lemon juice will do. It's not nearly as puckering or as intense as like straight up lemon juice, but you got a nice like lemon tartness going on here. It's mild enough that it's very drinkable. Honestly, the taste is way better than the aroma. Like just drinking this, it's got that sourness. It's got some little bit of dryness on the end. It's refreshing and crisp. Makes you want to take another sip. Honestly, the aroma is the only thing that's like off on this. Like the aroma is kind of like, maybe not. But once you get into drinking it, it's pretty good. I could definitely see this as like a summer refresher. Like drink a ton of these during a hot summer day. Especially at 3.8% or what it was. 3.8, did I say? Yeah. 3.8. Very light. It's very light bodied. There's not a lot going on here. Like let's be real. It's a sour with lemony taste to it. That's it. Like it's very simple. But it's good. And the sourness is not super big. It's not puckering, it's not off-putting. It's just enough. It's just enough to make you want to take another sip. It's just like it hits the taste buds a little, just like, it's kind of like flicks it a little. Flicks the taste buds a little like you would flick a clitoris with your finger or your tongue. That's right. This video isn't for children, so get over it. It's just a little tickle of the tingle. I like this. Again, I have no experience with Berliner Weisse other than this beer, so I can't speak on the style other than to like say I like it. It seems to fit the description that I've read of what a Berliner Weisse is supposed to be. I could see this beer mixing with syrups of some sort to make a good cocktail. So I'm inclined to give it a 7 for style. And, that leaves plenty of room for improvement. If I have another Berliner Weisse that just like knocks this out of the fucking park and just like hits even better on the tasting notes and all that shit, then we got room there to improve. Personal preference. Not something I drink all the time, but like if this was available during the summertime on my shelves of the NSLC, this might be something I would pick up because I can see this just being crushable, refreshing summer beer. Let's just do double sevens. I feel good about that. Like I feel like this is something I would get again if it was like on the NSLC shelves. I'm probably not going to order it again from Tatamagouche. Probably not going to do that, but because I don't feel like sours are necessarily a thing I'm too big on. But like if this was available during the summer on my NSLC shelves, I would definitely pick a bunch up because this would be something to have like to have like super ice cold on a really hot day. Like it's refreshing, crisp, and tasty. Honestly, pretty tasty. I like it. So my first encounter with a Berliner Weisse is pretty good. Double sevens. 7 for style, 7 for preference. Do as the Doors say. Take it easy, baby. Take it as it comes. Yes. We have one more beer to do tonight from Tatamagouche. That will happen in about 20-ish minutes. And yeah, come back for that if you're around. And if you're not, see it later. Check the next video, whatever. I don't really care. You can watch and you cannot watch. I got like 30 people who watch these things. Who gives a shit? You don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't make any money doing this. Who gives a fuck? I don't even know why I do this, honestly. I just do it. It's just something to do. I like beer and I like sharing my thoughts on beer with people. That's all this ever has been. So I'm going to fuck off now. I'll be back in like 20-ish minutes, like I said. And we have the last beer from Tatamagouche I'm going to review tonight. And cheers. I hope you're having a good whatever part of your day you're living, sir or madam or other. Yeah. Bye-bye.